Hey there, Jen Ferguson with Artistic Painting Studio. And look at my next project, guys. Yes, we are going to foil this. Okay, we have a fun project. Yes, Lucky Brand. This was on the sale rack, on the sale rack, on the sale rack, and I paid a whopping $15 for this. And we're gonna add a little extra charm to it, okay? So I thought this would be super fun to do some foiling on. And now I'm just trying to decide if I want to foil every row or if I want to foil maybe like every other row or do something. So I'm trying to figure out if we go here, stay negative, foil those two, maybe go negative, foil those two, go negative, and then foil those two. Okay, so maybe we can. And I'm gonna tell you guys, okay? So as you work something out and you're trying to figure out your process, if I decide I want to do like every other 2 rows, okay, and not foil them all, we've got a pattern here, okay, that we can work with. So that way we're foiling the rows that I did not put tape on, and the one I put tape over, we won't foil those. And then I think we might do just a couple on the arm for fun, okay? So we've got a little bit of work to do on this. We are going to be using our Deco Foil Transfer Gel Duo, which we love on our fabric projects, okay? So this is an adhesive designed for working on fabric. And let's just grab us a plate. Okay, and I'm gonna keep my tape on my shirt because too many times when I'm doing stuff like this, I forget what I'm doing. And this will give me a pattern and the ability to not forget where I'm going to add the adhesive. To play around and do some fun things like this, maybe you've got a shirt, or an old sweater or something in your closet that you don't really wear anymore, and it could add some extra bling and fun. Or you might find something on sale that's just absolutely a great buy. Okay, I'm going to be using, we call these filbert brushes, okay, just because of their shape. They're normally slightly domed, they're flatter, they're not like a round circular brush, and their bristles are stiffer, okay? So it's more like the bristles on a stencil brush rather than a regular paintbrush, so they are stiffer. I do prefer this type of brush when working with the Duo. I just find that it is easier to apply. Okay, since I dipped out of there, okay, I'm just trying to clean my brush off a little bit, but I'm not going to waste my adhesive, okay? So I am going to just brush this, trying to keep it on the chained knitting design here, okay? And I'm deciding I might need a smaller brush. Okay, I want to try to make sure that doesn't go anywhere else. Use that one to clean up. Or maybe I just need to go a little slower and a little neater too. But I'm going to paint this all the way down the rows that I want the foil to adhere to. And any place that I am putting this on a little heavier, a little thicker, okay, we'll have normally more foil transfer in those areas. So I'm not looking for anything perfect. I'm just wanting to dress up this great deal, okay, that I found. And the only thing that I wish I had bought more of these, because they had one in pink as well. And Ashley talked me out of the pink one, so we went for the blue one, and I should have just bought them both. At $15, one cannot go wrong, okay? Okay, so again, Remember, we're skipping some of these rows. The one I have tape on, I'm not putting any adhesive. Oh, almost did. Telling you that tape is going to help you. Okay, the Duo. The Duo is a great product. Like I said, it is designed for fabric use. It will make it through your washer. We do recommend always washing your garments on cold water, inside out, and delicate cycle if possible. I should look at this sweater. What does this sweater say? Where's my details? Way too much information here. Okay. Wash before wearing, turn garment inside out, machine wash cold with light colors. Okay, it says do not dry clean. Okay, so this is definitely, it's 100% cotton as well. And it is designed to go through the washer, so that is going to be perfect. You do not want to put anything with foil on it in your dryer. So make sure that you are line drying anything that you have foil on, okay? So do not throw this on the dryer because there's no guarantee how well it will make it through it. The foils just do not like that, okay? But they will make it through the washer. Okay, a couple more things about your Duo is it will take, depending on how thick you have applied the Duo to your fabric, it could take up to 30 minutes or an hour to completely dry. We will be transferring using an iron, so we'll be using heat. You could also use a mini press, which will also work. And you want to let it dry down at least about 30 minutes. There are times I don't let it dry completely, and I actually transfer the foil when it is still a tiny bit wet, okay? Not real wet, okay? So it goes on, as you can see, milky white, and it will dry down to where it is clear. So you're going to kind of know when this product is dry and ready for the foil application. Okay, we got to make sure we have enough room for this as this sweater is just moving across my table here. So make sure you give it about 30 to 60 minutes. If it's not completely dry, I have been okay. If it's just a little tiny bit of white haze still in the Duo, I've been successful with still transferring at that state, but you can wait for it to completely dry. So if you are in the middle of a project, life happens, you can't finish what you're working on, you could come back and finish it up tomorrow, okay? So don't feel like as soon as it's dry, you have to get your foil transferred on. It will still work the next day. And there's many projects that we're working on, and I'm sure you guys are the same way, that you just run out of time or have to do something else, okay? Okay, I've even added a couple of the stripes down the arm. We're just now going to be patient and allow this to dry, and then we'll be back for some fun foiling. Foiling on clothing is super easy and a fast project. Okay, I've decided on silver, which I think is going to complement this blue because it even has a little bit of a distressed look where it kind of looks silvery to begin with, so I think it's going to be a nice complement. The Duo has dried for a few hours. I've also have turned my iron on, and it's on medium, okay? So check your iron, make sure that it doesn't get super hot. Some irons get really, really hot. I'm going to show you a trick that you can also do. Parchment paper, you guys. This is just another product that you can use with this whole thing. Okay, I'm going to take off my tape because that was just reminding me to not paint the duo on those particular rows, okay? Because I need I need a reminder sometimes. Okay, and I've cut a piece of foil which looks like almost long enough, okay? But if you're not sure about your iron, if it's going to get too hot, you can use a piece of parchment paper and just lay it over the area that you're planning on ironing, and it will protect, okay? It'll protect your iron from the iron being too hot, and it could possibly melt the foil onto the iron, okay? So the parchment paper is not a bad idea. And I'm just going to move it down, okay, so that I can get this last little bit. I think we need to cut another little piece, okay, to move all the way down. So I just have my scissors handy. I'm going to cut off a piece here to finish off the bottom of that row. And then, because remember, we skipped a row, we can cut our foil, and that way I can keep going and just position it right on the edge. And I'm just going to cut another little piece here to go over the bottom and continue to iron. Now, the reason why I'm not pulling that first piece off and just reusing it or repositioning it is because foils are what are called a cool release, which means after you iron them, you need to allow the foils to completely cool off before you remove them. If you take them off too fast, you might not get much of a release, okay? So don't take them off when they're hot, right after foiling. If you're trying to maximize the amount of foil you have, you might have to wait for it to cool and then reposition, wait for it to cool and reposition, okay? Here, I'm just cutting off the excess and just going to reuse or use my strips. Okay, now that's working perfectly over the shirt. Keeping my parchment paper going just so I'm protecting anything that has the adhesive on it. Because remember, I just did I skipped one, okay? I did, skipped a row, did two, skipped a row, did two. I am using a little bit of pressure, just making sure that the foil is getting transferred to the surface, okay? And now it's gonna be time to go ahead and cut some more. Get my shirt in position, and I'll make sure I cut this piece big enough to make it all the way down. Okay, so I'm gonna go right there. Now, if you know the heat of your iron, you guys, you don't have to use the parchment paper. I can go directly over the foil. I think sometimes for safety, if this is your first attempt and you're trying to determine your heat of your iron, then use the parchment paper and protect. Once you know that that heat is safe, you can do it without the parchment. And skipped. So I'm just going to keep pulling this down the shirt or sweater and ironing. And you can see that it's attaching to the adhesive, which is really cool because it gives you an idea that it has adhered. And the other thing is if you gave it a slight little pull, a little tiny tug, not really trying to, but pull it off, but it will attach, okay? So that is one way to know that the foil has transferred, okay, in those areas if you're worried if it's sticking, okay? So that is just a little test that you can do. Okay, I think these are my last 2 rows that I did here on the front. And then we're gonna have to move this over a little bit because I also did the arm. Let's see if it's wide enough. Oh, okay. We're gonna make it. Sweet. Now for the true fun, okay? This is my favorite part by all means. I refer to it as the peel and reveal. And this is when it's just so cool to pull that foil back and see the release that you did get. Now, if you want a little bit more, other than what the iron has given you, you can grab like a small scrub brush. I'm just using a toothbrush. And you can scrub a little bit more if you want to get a little bit more release, okay? And that's what's cool about the Duo. The Duo can work with and without heat. So if you decide you want a little bit more, you could either come back and iron more, or you can scrub a little bit as you're releasing. But I think this is just gonna be so cool. Just a little bit of added bling, okay? Let's just keep pulling off. So cool. Let's make sure these sections are cool. They were the last ones I ironed. I love this. Oh my gosh. How fun is this going to be? Okay, our last area. And if by chance you're still a little warm, okay, sometimes I'll just lift it up, just kind of open up the sleeve or the shirt or whatever you're working on. Just let that heat release, okay? Make sure it's cooled off enough. And then peel it off. And that is it. Okay, I gotta turn this around so that you guys can see this, okay? So cool, you guys. Check out your own wardrobe, see what you have. Or if you're lucky like I was lucky at Lucky Brand and grabbed this sweater for a whopping $14.97. Okay, everybody, thank you for joining me today. And for a list of all the materials and supplies will be in the link in the comments below. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our upcoming tutorials. Ta-da, you guys, this is so fun.